Just getting some information in here, Alex, that I want you to talk about. Again, this is just coming across. It says as protesters gathered outside the White House on Friday night in Washington, President Trump was briefly taken to the White House underground bunker for a period of time. Again, that's according to a White House official and a law enforcement source. He was there for a little under an hour before being brought upstairs. It is not clear. It is unclear if Melania Trump and Barron Trump were also taken down with him. Things got a bit serious. He was there for a short time. Tell us about that. That is only done when there is a real emergency at the White House, Alex.
That's just an extraordinary development that you're right, Don. We've just learned about in the past few moments, reported by CNN's White House team. So what happened? This was about 48 hours ago when really the D.C. saw its first protest in the wake of the killing of George Floyd and seeing a lot of that anger directed towards President Trump. So what we're hearing from law enforcement is that the president was taken to an underground bunker at the White House, which I don't know if you can see, Don, but that's just a block away on the other side of the park. The president was taken to an underground bunker, presumably by Secret Service. And as you mentioned, it's unclear whether that was along with his wife Melania and his son Barron. Stayed down there for around an hour. And that does show that there was a significant fear of the situation that was unfolding out here. And Don, it might explain some of the messages that we saw from President Trump the next morning. He sent off a flurry of tweets on Saturday morning talking about the protesters outside, saying that Secret Service, praising Secret Service, and saying that they were ready to unleash what he called vicious dogs and ominous weapons. Those terms, of course, bring back all sorts of imagery, all sorts of symbols from the fight for civil rights, and was met with fury. It really was fury from the mayor of D.C., who today all but accused the president of inciting violence. Don, there's a very tenuous relationship between the city of Washington, which hosts the federal government, and the mayor has relatively, during this pandemic, been quite soft on President Trump, but she unleashed on him, saying that he was scared and alone, and like I said, all but accused him of inciting violence, saying that he's being extremely divisive. So, of course, the hope is that these protests, which, as I've noted, have been almost entirely peaceful today, don't devolve into more violence, but clearly those around the president on Friday night felt that the protests had gotten violent enough to warrant taking the president down into that underground bunker in the White House. Don?
We hope that holds. Alex Marquardt reporting from Washington, very close to the White House. Thank you very much for that. I want to get to New York.